Everyone wants success fast, success in 6 months, fame in 1 year, and wealth overnight. But the truth is simple. If you can't spend time improving yourself when no one is watching, the world won't pay attention when you finally rise. Most people spend half of their lives trying to convince others that they are capable, talented, or worthy. They chase approval like it's a prize. A parent's validation, a friend's praise, a teacher's compliment, or society's acceptance. But here's the truth. No matter how hard you try, you will never control what people think of you. You could do everything right, and someone will still find a reason to criticize you. You could climb mountains, and someone will say you took too long. You could win, and they'll say it was luck. That's why wasting your time proving others wrong is like throwing your energy into a fire that never burns out. The world's opinion is a moving target, and chasing it will only exhaust you. When you stop trying to prove others wrong, something magical happens. You free yourself. You stop running someone else's race and start walking your own. Imagine how powerful you become when you no longer care whether people believe in you or not. You start doing things because you believe in them, not because someone told you that you couldn't. The moment you stop chasing validation, you gain something far more valuable. Focus. Focus to improve. Focus to build. Focus to grow silently while others talk. The ones who achieve greatness are not the loudest. They are the most consistent when no one is watching. The need to prove yourself often comes from insecurity, from a place inside you that whispers, "Maybe I'm not enough." That voice is the enemy you must defeat, not the people outside. When you realize that your worth is not measured by the opinions of others, but by the progress you make each day, everything changes. You begin to find peace in the process instead of anxiety in approval. You learn that growth isn't a public event, it's private. The real transformation happens when no one claps, when no one praises you, when you still choose to show up and work on yourself. That's where character is built. Every second you spend trying to prove someone wrong is a second you could have used to become better. Think about it. Time is the most limited resource in your life. You can earn back money, rebuild your health, even repair relationships. But you can never get back time. If you use that time chasing the opinions of others, you're giving away the most precious thing you have. Successful people don't waste time arguing with doubters. They let results speak. They stay silent, stay consistent, and allow their growth to be their loudest statement. The more time you waste trying to convince others, the less time you have to convince yourself that you can actually do it. Instead of spending your energy proving people wrong, spend it proving yourself right. Prove that your vision, your dream, and your effort matter. Channel that frustration into focus. Every time someone doubts you, let it be fuel, not distraction. Work in silence and let your progress make the noise. Let your achievements speak louder than your explanations. When people see your results, their words will fade. Remember, silence backed by progress is more powerful than arguments backed by ego. The goal isn't to make others regret doubting you. It's to make yourself proud that you never gave up. Finally, understand that not everyone will understand your path, and that's perfectly fine. Some people can't see your vision because it wasn't given to them. You're not meant to explain your every move or justify your every dream. You're meant to build, grow, and evolve quietly until your success becomes undeniable. The people who once doubted you will either learn from your journey or fade into the background. And neither outcome matters. What matters is that you used your time wisely. You didn't let the noise distract you. You invested it into becoming a stronger, wiser, more capable version of yourself. That's how you truly win, not by proving others wrong, but by proving to yourself that their opinions never had power over your destiny. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that learning ends when school ends. They graduate, get a job, and think they've arrived, that now it's time to work, not learn. But life doesn't reward those who stop learning. It rewards those who never stop growing. Every day, the world changes, technology evolves, opportunities shift, and industries reinvent themselves. The only way to stay ahead is to keep learning, not because you have to, but because you want to. Knowledge is the new wealth. It doesn't lose value, and no one can ever take it away from you. Learning something new every day doesn't mean reading an entire book daily or memorizing facts. It means keeping your curiosity alive. It means waking up each morning asking, what can I learn today that will make me better than I was yesterday? Maybe it's a new word, a new perspective, a new skill, or a new truth about yourself. The greatest learners in life are not those with the most degrees. They are those with the most curiosity. They observe everything, ask questions, and stay humble enough to admit that they don't know everything. And that humility keeps them hungry. The truth is, the more you learn, the more you realize how little you actually know. That realization doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It pushes you to keep exploring, to keep asking, to keep improving. Think about this. Every time you learn a new skill, your value increases. You become more capable, more confident, more independent. You stop relying on others to show you the way because you've learned how to figure things out yourself. The world belongs to the problem solvers, and problem solvers are born out of constant learning. Every bit of knowledge you gain becomes a tool you can use when life throws a challenge your way. But learning every day doesn't come naturally. It requires discipline. In the age of distractions, endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, and mindless entertainment, your biggest battle isn't with others, it's with your attention. You have to choose learning over comfort. You have to decide that 30 minutes of a good podcast is better than 3 hours of social media. You have to remind yourself that reading one chapter of a book can shape your mindset more than watching 100 funny videos. The world is full of noise, but only learners know how to tune it out and find what truly matters. And learning doesn't just happen through books or teachers. Life itself is the best classroom. Every person you meet knows something you don't. Every mistake you make hides a lesson. Every challenge carries a hidden opportunity. The difference between successful people and average ones is that successful people notice these lessons and apply them. When something goes wrong, they ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? They understand that failure is just education in disguise, and every lesson learned from pain is one you'll never forget. Make it your mission to learn every day, not to compete, not to impress, but to grow. Take notes from every experience. Read books that stretch your thinking. Listen to people smarter than you. Learn skills that make you more useful, adaptable, and creative. Don't wait for someone to teach you. Teach yourself. We live in a time where knowledge is literally at your fingertips. You can learn business from billionaires, leadership from history, and wisdom from a 5-minute video. You have no excuse to stay the same. The more you learn, the more you earn, not just in money, but in confidence, freedom, and peace of mind. When you make daily learning a habit, something powerful happens inside you. Your perspective expands. You start to see the world differently. You stop complaining and start understanding. You stop reacting and start responding. You realize that success isn't luck, it's knowledge applied over time. Every new thing you learn adds another layer to your strength. And one day, all those small lessons will connect and people will call you lucky, without realizing that your luck was built from years of quiet learning. So, learn something new every day. It doesn't matter how small it is. A single idea can transform your direction. A single conversation can inspire a new vision. And a single lesson can change the way you see life. Every day you learn, you evolve. Every day you grow, you move closer to the person you're meant to become. And that's the real secret to staying ahead in a world that never stops changing. Failure, the word that scares most people into silence. The truth is, everyone wants success, but no one wants the struggle that comes before it. We live in a world where failure is seen as a weakness, as something to hide, something to be ashamed of. But the reality is very different. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. You can't reach greatness without walking through disappointment. You can't discover your strength without feeling the pain of falling. Every successful person has a collection of failures that shape them into who they are today. The difference is they didn't quit when things went wrong. They listened to their failures and learned from them. Failure has a way of teaching lessons that success never can. Success often makes us comfortable. Failure makes us grow. Success feeds the ego. Failure feeds the mind. When you fail, life is not punishing you. It's preparing you. Each setback is a test to see if you truly want what you're chasing. When things fall apart, it's easy to lose confidence and question your ability. But that's the moment when growth begins. Because failure is not the end of your story. It's the point where your real story starts. When you choose to rise after failing, you unlock a version of yourself that no amount of comfort could have ever created. Think about it. When everything goes smoothly, you don't learn much. But when you fall, when plans collapse, when doors close in your face, you are forced to reflect. You start asking better questions. Why did this happen? What can I do differently? What did I ignore? Those questions are the building blocks of wisdom. Each mistake becomes a mirror that shows you the truth about your habits, your mindset, and your approach. And if you pay attention, failure becomes your greatest mentor. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth. It doesn't flatter you. It gives you feedback, raw, honest, and priceless. But here's the catch. Most people don't learn from failure because they take it personally. They think failing means I am a failure, but that's not true. Failing means you tried something. You dared to step out. You took a risk when others stayed safe. Failure doesn't define you. It refines you. Every time you fail, you become wiser, stronger, and more prepared. What separates winners from quitters is not talent. It's resilience. It's the ability to look failure in the eye and say, thank you for the lesson. Now watch me come back stronger. The only true failure is giving up before learning what your fall was trying to teach you. Some of the most life-changing lessons come wrapped in pain and disappointment. Maybe you started a business and it didn't work. Maybe you trusted someone and they let you down. Maybe you had a dream that collapsed despite all your effort. Each of those moments hurts deeply. But inside that pain lies a powerful truth. You are capable of rebuilding. Failure is not your enemy, it's your coach. It teaches patience when things take longer than expected. It teaches humility when you realize you're not always right. It teaches gratitude when you rise again and realize how far you've come. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't give up when life got hard. The most successful people don't have fewer failures. They simply learned how to use them better. They analyze what went wrong. They adjust their strategy and they move forward with experience. Failure becomes their secret advantage because while others fear it, they embrace it. They know every no brings them closer to a yes. Every loss brings them closer to mastery. You see, failure is not about falling down. It's about refusing to stay there. The ones who keep standing, even with bruises, are the ones who eventually win. So instead of fearing failure, start respecting it. Treat it as your silent teacher. Each time you fail, take a moment to reflect instead of react. Write down what you learned, what you'll never repeat, and what you'll do differently next time. That's how you turn pain into progress. That's how you grow into someone unstoppable. Because once you realize that failure can't destroy you, it can only educate you. You become fearless. And when you are fearless, you are free. Motivation feels good. It excites you, inspires you, and makes you believe that anything is possible. But motivation is like a spark. It burns bright for a moment, then fades when the challenges appear. Discipline, on the other hand, is the fire that keeps burning even when the storm hits. Most people wait for motivation to show up before they start working. The successful ones start working and then motivation shows up. If you only act when you feel inspired, you'll never reach your true potential. Discipline is what carries you through the days when your energy is gone, when your plans fail, when your emotions scream, quit. Motivation comes from excitement. Discipline comes from commitment. The difference is simple. Motivation is doing what's easy. Discipline is doing what's necessary. You'll never always feel like waking up early, studying, working out, or building your dream. But you have to do it anyway. That's where discipline lies. It's in the choice you make when no one is watching. It's in the decision to keep going when the world has gone to sleep. People often think success is about talent or luck, but in truth, it's about habits. It's about showing up every single day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when it doesn't feel worth it, because you know deep down that the result is worth it. Think of discipline as the bridge between your goals and your reality. Everyone dreams of a better future, but only those who walk across that bridge every day reach it. The problem is, many people start strong but stop when things get uncomfortable. They let their emotions control their actions. The disciplined person does the opposite. They control their emotions through action. When you're disciplined, you don't rely on how you feel. You rely on what you've promised yourself. You train your mind to obey your goals, not your moods. That's the secret most people overlook. It's not about working harder when you're motivated. It's about working consistently when you're not. Discipline is built in small moments. It's built when you choose to study instead of scroll. When you show up to work, even when you're tired. When you keep your word, even when no one will notice if you don't. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-respect. You prove that you can trust yourself. That trust is the foundation of confidence. And confidence is what makes you unstoppable. The disciplined mind doesn't look for excuses. It looks for ways. It doesn't seek comfort. It seeks progress. While others wait to feel ready, the disciplined person acts and grows ready through action. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is practical. Motivation may help you start something new, but only discipline can help you finish it. The truth is, every successful person has more days when they don't feel like working than days when they do. The only difference is they do it anyway. They've trained their minds like muscles to show up no matter how they feel, because they know consistency beats intensity. You don't need to be great every day. You just need to be consistent every day. That's how progress compounds. Just like a drop of water that shapes rock over time, discipline quietly shapes your destiny, while motivation comes and goes like the wind. And here's the part most people don't realize: discipline creates freedom. It sounds ironic, but it's true. When you're disciplined, you control your life instead of letting life control you. You don't have to rely on moods or external pushes. You move because your vision demands it. You don't waste time, you use it. You don't wait for opportunities, you create them. A disciplined person wakes up with direction, not confusion. They understand that time is their currency, and every disciplined act is an investment in their future self. Motivation is nice, but discipline is what builds empires. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to get motivated. Start today, even if it's small. Create habits that align with your goals and stick to them. Train your body to move and your mind to focus. Build systems that work even when you don't feel like working, because one day motivation will fail you, but discipline won't. Motivation fades when things get hard. Discipline grows stronger through the hardship. Discipline is not a punishment. It's a form of self-respect. It's the greatest proof that you believe in your own potential. Your environment shapes your evolution. The people you spend time with silently influence how you think, act, and dream. Whether you realize it or not, your circle determines your standards. If you surround yourself with lazy people, you'll find excuses. If you surround yourself with negative people, you'll find fear. But when you surround yourself with growth-minded people, those who believe in progress, discipline, and vision, you find courage. You start thinking bigger, aiming higher, and believing that improvement is normal. Because success is contagious, so is failure. Choose your circle wisely, because it will either pull you up or hold you back. You become like the people you spend the most time with. That's not just a saying, it's a fact. Energy is transferable. Attitudes are infectious. If you sit with people who talk about goals, ideas, and solutions, your mind expands. If you sit with people who gossip, complain, and blame, your mind shrinks. Growth-minded people challenge you. They don't let you settle for average. They push you to see what you're capable of, even when you doubt yourself. They celebrate your wins, but they also call you out when you're making excuses. They want to see you win because they're too focused on building themselves to be jealous. That's the kind of energy that transforms lives. But building a growth-minded circle doesn't happen overnight. You have to be intentional. Sometimes it means letting go of people who no longer align with your path. It's not easy, but it's necessary. You can't grow if you're surrounded by those who are comfortable staying the same. You can't evolve in a place where progress is seen as pride. Some people love you, but they don't help you grow. And that's the hard truth. Growth requires pruning. You have to make room for the people who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. Because who you walk with today determines where you'll arrive tomorrow. Growth-minded people think differently. They don't fear failure. They analyze it. They don't talk about others. They talk about ideas. They don't get jealous. They get inspired. When you're around such people, you start believing in yourself differently. You stop making excuses and start taking ownership. You learn from their energy, their mindset, their habits. You start noticing how they use their time, how they deal with challenges, and how they talk to themselves. Just by being around them, you grow. That's the silent power of proximity. You become what you're exposed to. If you want to rise higher, place yourself where growth is normal, not rare. And it's not just about finding such people. It's about becoming one of them. You can't expect to attract growth-minded people if you're always negative, lazy, or inconsistent. You have to raise your own standards first. Be the kind of person who adds value to others. Be the one who lifts, encourages, and inspires. Growth-minded people don't want to waste time with complainers. They're drawn to doers. When you work on yourself, you naturally attract others who are doing the same. You don't need to beg for their attention. Your mindset will pull them in. Like energy attracts like energy. That's how strong circles are built. Not through words, but through alignment. Sometimes the people who push you the hardest are the ones who love you the most. They won't always tell you what you want to hear, but they'll tell you what you need to hear. They'll hold you accountable when you get lazy. They'll remind you of your goals when you forget. And they'll clap for you when you win, because they know how hard it was to get there. Growth-minded friendships are not built on comfort. They're built on honesty and respect. They don't just make you feel good. They make you better. And that's the kind of relationship you should never take for granted. So protect your circle. Surround yourself with people who speak possibility, not fear. With people who read, who dream, who execute. Be in rooms where your goals sound normal. If you're always the smartest person in your group, it's time to find a new one. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in rooms where you feel slightly uncomfortable, slightly challenged, and endlessly inspired. Let your environment remind you of who you want to become. Because at the end of the day, success is not just about how hard you work. It's about who you work beside. Choose your circle with intention, because that choice will define your future. We live in an age where people care more about looking successful than actually becoming successful. They chase attention instead of wisdom, applause instead of progress. They buy things they don't need to impress people they don't even like. But here's the truth. No one's opinion of you will ever feed your soul, build your skills, or secure your future. The time and money you spend trying to look good could change your entire life if you invested it in becoming good. Real success isn't built on appearance. It's built on awareness, knowledge, and mindset. You don't need more followers. You need more focus. You don't need validation. You need vision. When you start investing in your mind, your entire perspective changes. You stop seeing time as something to waste and start seeing it as something to use. You begin to understand that every book you read, every podcast you listen to, every conversation you have with someone smarter than you adds to your value. Knowledge gives you confidence that no material thing ever can. When you develop your mind, you don't need to show off, because your wisdom speaks louder than your appearance. People who truly know their worth don't shout it. They show it through the calm confidence that comes from preparation and self-mastery. Impressing others is a race that never ends. No matter what you do, someone will always have more money, more fame, more recognition. If your happiness depends on comparison, you'll live your whole life chasing a moving target. But when you invest in yourself, the competition disappears, because you're not running against others anymore. You're running against who you were yesterday. Every day you learn something new. Every time you improve a skill, every time you expand your mindset, you win. And the best part, no one can take that victory away from you. You can lose money, status, even friends, but you can never lose what you've learned. People often ask, what's the best investment I can make? The answer is simple. Your mind. The mind is the engine behind every form of success. It controls your habits, your emotions, your creativity, and your decisions. The smarter and more disciplined your mind becomes, the easier life gets. The world pays people who think, who create, who solve problems, not those who look rich. So while others spend on image, spend on insight. Buy books before buying clothes. Pay for courses before paying for luxuries. Seek mentors instead of seeking attention. The return on mental growth is infinite, because every idea you gain multiplies into opportunities you could never see before. There will always be pressure to impress. Society feeds it. But remember, people forget what you wore, what car you drove, or how you looked on social media. What they remember is how you made them think, how you made them feel, and what kind of energy you brought into a room. That energy comes from your mind, from how you see yourself and the world. When you invest in learning, you start thinking differently. You start understanding people better. You communicate more effectively. You become a person of value, and people are naturally drawn to value. Real influence doesn't come from trying to impress others. It comes from impacting others. Investing in your mind also gives you freedom, the kind of freedom money can't buy. When your mind is strong, no one can manipulate you. When you're educated, no one can mislead you. When you're wise, you see opportunities where others see problems. A rich mind creates a rich life. You begin to attract success because you think differently, speak differently, and make decisions from a place of clarity instead of insecurity. Knowledge makes you unshakable. While others panic during crisis, you plan. While others doubt, you decide. That's the power of investing in your inner world. So stop spending your time trying to impress people who are too busy trying to impress others. Turn your focus inward. Feed your mind with good ideas. Feed your soul with peace. And feed your dreams with action. Buy the book, watch the lecture, ask the question, learn the skill, and repeat it daily. Because every hour you spend learning adds to your future wealth. Every dollar you spend on growth adds to your long-term power. External success fades, but internal strength lasts forever. The real glow up is mental, not material. Invest in your mind, because once your mindset grows, everything in your life grows with it. At the end of the day, everything you've heard comes down to one truth. Your greatest project in life is you. The world won't change until you do. Success won't find you until you become the kind of person who deserves it. Stop chasing validation. Stop wasting energy proving others wrong. Stop living for applause that fades the moment you turn away. Use that time, that precious, limited time, to build something no one can take away. Yourself. Every hour you spend learning, every mistake you survive, every habit you build in silence, it all counts. It all compounds. Because while everyone else is trying to be seen, you're busy becoming someone worth seeing. And that's the difference between noise and legacy. Legacy is built quietly, in early mornings, late nights, and small daily choices that no one claps for. But one day, when the results speak, the world will have no choice but to listen. Remember, failure doesn't define you. Your comeback does. Motivation doesn't sustain you. Discipline does. Friends don't make you grow. The right ones do. And the best investment isn't in what's outside of you. It's in what's inside of you. Everything you want, everything you dream of, is waiting for the stronger version of you to show up. So build that version. Learn when it's hard. Work when it's quiet. Grow when it's lonely. Because the world doesn't reward the ones who only wish for better. It rewards the ones who become better. And one day, when you look back, you won't be proud of how fast you reached success. You'll be proud of how much you grew to deserve it. Spend time to make yourself better, because that's the best time you'll ever spend.